Punt It Long, episode 11. Due to the fact that that's basically the football season finished in all leagues except for the Champions League final, the FA Cup and the Scottish Cup, I'm going to go through the best, the worst and the downright stupid from season 2017-18. So let's go, mate. We'll start off with Mo Salah. He's now scored 44 goals in a single season, which is joint with Ruud van Nistelrooy for a Premier League player scoring that many goals in a single season. That's equalled the record, and he could still break that if he scores in the Champions League final. It's been well documented, even just on these videos, how much adulation I've got for Mo Salah and how much he gets from the footballing world in general. He's had a tremendous season. The fact that it's basically his debut season, I know he had that season with Chelsea, but it's his debut season, really full season of football in the Premier League, and he's fitted into a system so well and it just works well for all parties and it's pleasing to watch. I'm sure a lot of folk will be cheering them on at the World Cup when Egypt play. Liverpool fans will probably be more on the Egypt side than England, I would imagine, because quite a lot of people can't stand England at the moment. But as I said before, a lot of adulation for Mo Salah. He's had a tremendous season, and all the awards and records he's breaking, he deserves everything that he gets. I feel like I say that so much, he deserves everything he gets. And another set of records were broken by Manchester City, of course. I seen it on Sky Sports last night and it was something like the most amount of passes, the most amount of goals scored, points, blah blah blah. Every single Premier League record basically. I think it's like the first team to reach 100 points and win 32 games, and it's unlikely probably to ever be broken. There can't be much teams that'll get any better than that. They've just been so tremendous in terms of how they play football, and Pep Guardiola really has revolutionised that side of the game, the whole passing side of it. I was watching the Monday Night Football special on Sky Sports, and basically he was saying that he would rather make the neat intricate passes and get to the end goal rather than risking it with a long range pass and maybe breaking down play or whatever. It's pretty obvious that he just likes complete football, and he's brought exactly that to Manchester City. Although it's horrendously boring the fact that they've got all the money to be able to do that as well. It's not like he could go and probably do it with Burnley, for example, but he's done it in a way that's so attractive to watch in the eye that I don't think anybody really makes that big a deal of the money. Money in football does slightly bother me, but when you're producing football like that, I don't think it matters as much how much money you spend, because a lot of it is down to the tactical side of the game. A team that's actually scored more goals than Manchester City this season is Ayr United, and they are another one of the best from this season, along with their striker Lawrence Shankland. I watched Lawrence play for Dunfermline in a park in Glasgow in about July last year maybe. I've got to say, the fact that we played him on the wing in that game and he just didn't look fit, he didn't look ready for any type of football, and I think after that he spent probably about a month and a half out of football in general. Didn't look like he was going to get a move. I was sitting saying to my dad, what's happened to him, blah blah blah. Now he's went on and scored 29 goals for Ayr. They've got promoted with their first league title in 20 plus years, I think it is, and he's signed on for next season as well. It's tremendous business by Ayr to get him on for another season because he's loved by the fans there, and I believe that if you're loved by the fans and you feel loved by a football club in general, that you're going to perform just much better. A lot of players are confidence players, and they base a lot of that confidence off of how they're treated by the fan base and the club and how they feel just as a football player at that club. And Lawrence Shankland clearly is that type of player. He could have moved for far more money, he could have probably doubled his wages, but he chose to stay at Ayr, and that shows real loyalty, and it's something that really goes amiss sometimes in football these days. The first of two teams that have done a very similar job and achieved a lot of success this season is Livingston and David HOPKIN. They've obviously now got into the playoff final. They're away to play Partick Thistle in a two-legged tie this weekend. I'm going to the second leg of that to see who eventually stays up or goes up. You can't really say much more that's not already been said about Livingston and David HOPKIN. They're such hard workers. They've built a squad with players that weren't exactly high calibre. I don't really think any of those players would fit into a Premiership team straight away. But it's like when Jurgen Klopp's brought in a player like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain or Mo Salah, they fitted into the system rather than it being a case of the players weren't treated as good as they should have been at previous clubs. A lot of that is down to the system that they play in, and David Hopkin plays them in a system that's hard working and resilient, and a lot of it's hoofball and a lot of it's dirty tackles and stuff like that, but it's got them results and it's got them to their end goal, which really their aim this season was to stay up. But the fact that they kept on achieving greater and greater things, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do end up going up this season. And as I said, a similar job was done by Burnley and Sean Dyche. They're now in European football. They've got a 7th place finish, making them best of the rest. Obviously the top 6 have their own kind of mini league going on, and then from 7th downwards is kind of the best of the rest, and Burnley finished there. It's another one where it's a hard working team, players fit into a system. They're not exactly high calibre players, but because of the way they've been trained, they just keep on succeeding and succeeding. It's very similar to the Livingston situation. They deserve the European place. They've had a tremendous season. It'll be tough next season for them in Europa League because there will be a lot of quality in there, but with the money that's in the Premier League, you would imagine that they'll be able to make some decent signings to at least have a good go. On to the worst now, and to start us off, it's Sam Allardyce. He's just today been sacked from Everton, and I wrote the list of points down that I was going to make before he was sacked, and it just backs it up even more. Despite the fact that when he came in they were 13th and they've now finished 8th, he's just not been accepted by Everton fans at all. That survey that they had where they were rating how much they trust Sam and stuff like that, and then I think they had like banners at the games and stuff to basically send out the message that they don't want him as their manager. If your fans don't like you just based on your demeanour and how you play football, you're never really going to succeed at a club. He did a good job, and the worst isn't for Everton at all. They've had a pretty good season based on the fact of where they were at one point, but ultimately Sam Allardyce has had a bad season because he came in on an 18-month deal and 6 months later he's now out of a job again. Rangers are the next in the worst category. They finished 3rd, which is obviously not what Rangers want to be doing. They've got no trophies and had a lot of bad results throughout the season. They had Pedro Caixinha in charge, of course. The signings they made last summer really didn't set them up for a great season at all. They then brought in Graham Murray, who wasn't really up for the job, and now he's been sacked, and now they're bringing in Steven Gerrard to try and at least reinvigorate the club a bit. They've had more statements than anything else this season, and the fact that they're the only top 6 team not to beat Celtic surely isn't enough for Rangers fans to be pleased about at all this season. I would imagine that next season will be much better for Rangers just because of Steven Gerrard, the pool he's going to have to be able to bring in better quality players and to be able to inspire the squad of players that he's going to have, but it has to be better than this season. A 3rd place finish, no trophies, and not being able to beat Celtic in a season when teams like Hearts, Kilmarnock, Aberdeen, Hibs have all been able to beat them. It doesn't really say much for Rangers at all. I imagine that a more positive season must be ahead for them. It can't get much worse than this season. And finally, moving on to the downright stupid this season. First up is money in football. Coutinho for 142 million and Neymar for 198.5 million. Now, I know it's not my money, but surely that is questionable. The money in football has just went completely over the hill now, and I don't know when it's ever going to stop. I don't think it will ever unless the Premier League eventually goes under. The money that some players are costing these days is unbelievable. It ruins the whole tradition of the game. The game was always meant to be about hard work and just going out and playing football and enjoying it. Now a lot of it's about agents and signing on fees and how much does the agent get, how much does the player get overall, and a lot of pundits and commentators now use the claim that, well, he cost us amount of money so he has to play well. Back in the day, kind of about 20 years ago, if a player wasn't playing well, then he'd just get benched and he'd come back in eventually later on in the season to try and prove his worth. Now it's all about, if he's not playing well, then oh, he's cost us amount of money for a club and blah blah blah. It's just really ruining the whole tradition of the game and how it was built to start off with. and I just don't think it's healthy for the game at all. And moving on to the final point of Downright Stupid is CSABA LASZLO. Dundee United manager has had a pretty torrid time in his first 6 months as Dundee United manager. He came in, took over from Ray McKinnon, who was a kind of shock exit from Dundee United at the time, and the fans have just never took to him. He always rambles on in his interviews, which makes it boring to listen to and almost laughable. Despite the fact that they've got an overall better points tally from last season, the fans just feel like the club's regressed and nobody wants LASZLO to continue on for next season. But it looks highly likely that he's going to. Who knows what's going to happen to Dundee United from here. You've got teams coming down to the Championship now like Ross County, you've got Inverness, you've got Falkirk, you've got Dunfermline of course. You've got all these teams that are going to be fighting for the same place as United, and with the amount of funds that they're going to have, or reportedly going to have, I don't know what lies in store for them next. But one thing's for sure, that Dundee United fans probably won't take to CSABA LASZLO once again, and I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the season, that as soon as a few results don't go United's way, that the fans will be right on top of it trying to get rid of him. And that's it for this week's episode of Punt It Long. It was obviously a bit different this week because it's a kind of season roundup version. We'll be back to normal next week though. As you can tell, I'm not going to include the poll because I actually forgot to put it in last week, but I kind of feel like it was kind of a bit of a dead feature of the video anyway, so I'm just going to leave that out for now. If you want it back in, then let me know in the comments, but I don't think it's that big a feature anyway. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and comment down below anything about what I've said. If you think I've missed any points out, let me know. And until the next video, which will probably be at the weekend when I go to the Livingston Partick Thistle playoff final second leg, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.